What kind of issues do you guys have in the weight room?
Military motivation. Motivation would be the biggest thing.
Big quick factor. And that can carry over to any classroom, workplace. Maybe touch on some things. What motivates you, or what are ways that you've seen coaches use other areas as in motivation? Because I could benefit as well.
Coach Licker? I have one question.
As far as motivation, I would love to come out with some sort of big motivation speech and get you fired up. And I can play Rudy and all the great movies and Rocky and that whatever it takes to get you going. I mean, heck, I've got a training partner that listens to ballads before he sets a PR in the gym, and I can't figure that one out. But when it comes down to it, what you have to do is find a way to get into your own head and figure out what gets you going. And 90% of the time, it's failing that people hate to do. And that's one of the things that gets me when I get in the gym, is I absolutely refuse to fail. Whatever it takes to win is what I'm going to do in the gym. But I think as each of you probably are athletes here, it's very difficult to be able to look at what you're doing in the gym and to transfer that over to whatever sport you're playing. So I think one thing that I do is I sit down and I make a list of what my goals are individually, what I want to get better at in my sport. And I go down and decide what it's going to take for me to get better in my sport, what exercise I'm going to have to do, how much weight I'm going to have to use, how much cardio I'm going to have to do, what it's going to be able to take for me to beat the person I see on the other side of that line, or that's hip checking me on the court. What am I going to have to do to get better than that other person? And if I tell myself that it's going to take me doing 10 trips with a prowler every other day, in the off season, in order for me to make sure that I'm better than the other person, because you only get one shot on game day. I mean, you don't realize this until the game's over and you're back in the locker room, and you're all crying because you lost the game. I mean, you only get that game once, but you can go out and push that prowler every single day to make sure you're tougher than that person you're going to be facing. I don't know if that's the way you guys look at it or not. But I was sitting on the same ground that you guys are right now. I was on the same basketball court, the same football field, and now I'm looking at somebody who's almost over the hill for their sport. So I'm looking back on things that I wish I could have done, and the only thing I would change was that I would have worked harder. I would have put more into it. I would have gotten the gym and pushed harder, because you cannot get that you cannot get today back. And you never realize that you can't get today back until you lose that game, and you can't unlose that game. So you have to find a way to understand that everything that you do is you against another person on the court or on the field. Everything you do in the gym. And I used to always tell myself in the back of my mind, because I train in a hole-in-the-wall gym. I've got one room, no electricity, no water, no air conditioning. Absolutely nothing, and it's 160 degrees outside in the summer, and I still train because I want to, and I have it in the back of my mind that there's somebody else that looks just like me, who has everything that I have, and the only thing that separates me from them is that they want it a little bit more than me. And that's what I tell myself in my head when I'm in the gym, is that I refuse to let that person who's exactly like me want it more than I do. So everything that I do in the gym is absolutely 100%. Absolutely 100%. But you've got to find a way in your head. Sometimes it's a training partner. Sometimes that young lady with the red shirt on, sitting in the back, who's going to be the motivator for everybody. Right here, yeah. I don't care who it is. If you see that there's somebody else that needs to be the leader, call them out in the gym. Don't be afraid to step over to somebody slacking off and say, hey, I don't want to lose this game. You're not going to be the reason that we're going to lose. You're going to push yourself every single practice. So whatever it takes, find a way. If you're tired of losing, find a way to get out there and get fired up, get better. Just get better. There's no other option.